So you see how the stars
Gotcha.
be?
Okay.
And this is around the time when I was working with Paperboy. And Suge is the one that brought me over to Death Row. And I met Suge through a girl that rapped who just so happened to be his cousin. Her name was Tammy. And she was, I think Cat was producing her, and then she came over to get some beats from me, and she was like, "You need to meet my cousin. He's starting a label." Now I didn't even know that was Death Row. I just went and met up with this big football playing nigga that was cool as a motherfucker. You know, I met him up at Fatburger in North Hollywood, and he told me that he was starting a label, and he needed some producers, and you know, right after that, I didn't see him for about a few months, and that's when Paperboy hit, and I ran back into Suge through through the Lady of Rage.
Okay.
So Diamond brought Diamond brought Rage over to my house in this room, and I had my SB 1200, and I was making beats, and she brought Rage over here, and when she brought her in the room, I was playing beats, and Rage was like, "You need to meet Dre," and I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "You're right,"
Absolutely.
and she was like, "Yeah, he got a label." She started running it down, and I was like, "Damn, that's dope." As I'm looking at this big old poster that was in my room of NWA. So you see how the stars
Gotcha.
be? Oh, and then right after that, I met up with John Payne, went up to Death Row, and I went and met him up. So they had a room in there, and I went in that big ass room. That was the first time I was ever around a big SSL board, and so I produced "Down with My Nigga" on that. Me and DJ Unknown. It's a song on the deep cover soundtrack called "Down with My Nigga," and that was my first time on wax outside of Paperboy. So as I was trying to be down with Death Row, what I always wished for was already happening by my own. You know what I'm saying?